The Levels of Life. Xiefeng. August 16, 2005. In terms of the non-material structure of its spirituality, life can be divided into 16 levels, successively. They are: the first level, the greatest creator. It possesses perfect non-material structure. Its psychic energy is able to penetrate all material and all spaces without any hindrance. The second level, gods. It possesses defective non-material structure. Its psychic energy is able to penetrate all materials and most spaces, but cannot enter into the zero world and cannot compete with the greatest creator. The third level, celestial beings and Buddha. All the celestial beings and Buddha are at the same level of life, and with only racial differences. Based on their magical power, celestial beings can be divided into the following categories: super celestial beings, deity celestial beings, land celestial beings, human celestial beings, ghost celestial beings. The basic features of super celestial beings are: they are not bound by time or space. They can sense subtle changes throughout the universe. They can sense the consciousnesses of the greatest creator and gods, and make rapid responses according to their consciousnesses. They can be visible or invisible, tangible or intangible. They have ever-changing magical powers which allow them to be in thousands of incarnations and exist in different life spaces at the same time. Their base camp is the Celestial Islands continent of the Elysium world. The basic features of deity celestial beings are: they are unable to change into thousands of incarnations, yet they have magical powers to mount the clouds and ride the mist. They can be invisible and can transform and travel between yin and yang space freely. They need no food supplies and can discern past and future. They can travel billions of miles in the blink of an eye. They dislike living in groups, so they do not have any base camp. They travel everywhere they want and do whatever they like. Except for the zero world and the heaven world, they can travel anywhere, which is the so-called powerful and unconstrained style of independence. The basic features of land celestial beings are: they enjoy long lifespans, require less food and drinks, and are free from diseases and worries. They are able to walk on the surface of water, walk through walls, and fly over the tops of the trees. They are able to travel thousands of miles without becoming fatigued. Their base camp is the 10,000-year world. They may occasionally appear in the human world, but ordinary people cannot see or hear them or sense their presence. The basic features of human celestial beings are: they have physical bodies but their consciousnesses are different from those of ordinary people. They have obtained knowledge such as the structure of the universe, 36-dimensional spaces, the origin of the universe, life and human beings, the transformation mechanism of causality, and the law of transmigration of life. They are sages attaining Tao and possessing perfect human nature. They do not have private property and do not participate in any form of confrontation or competition. They take things as they are, associate with others by following predestined relations, act in accordance with their nature, and take advantage of opportunities that arise. They live with perfect spirituality and human nature. They know clearly the next stop of their life and have no fear of death in any sense. That means that they have escaped the shackles of death. The community of human celestial beings is on the 1,000-year world. Only 1 out of every 10,000 people in human society possess the qualities of human celestial beings. If they can take one extra step, then they will join the ranks of human celestial being. The basic features of ghost celestial beings are: their flesh is dead but their consciousnesses still remain in the human world. They are transformed generally from those extremely intelligent people who are too anxious to accomplish their purpose. Buddhas. According to the nature of Buddha, Buddhas can be divided into 10 categories. Buddhas on the Supreme Authentic Wisdom continent are the most superior ones. Other Buddhas live on the Gods continent, Moon Temple continent, the continent for 3 realms lives to pass through, Celestial Islands continent, Amitabha continent, Ingwu continent, Kasayapa continent, the Borneo continent, and the Lotus continent by their levels. Buddhas on the Lotus continent are the minimum level ones. In the human world, there are no Buddhas in a real sense, but only everyone's original natures. Once people attain their original natures through self-cultivation, their physical bodies will pass into parinirvana immediately and their life will reach the primary level of Buddhas on the Lotus continent. The fourth level, devils. Fifth level, humans. Humans are a kind of life living on earth and relying on their visual, auditory, olfactory, gustatory, tactile, and spiritual perceptions. They do not possess the ability of supernatural transformation and must live on food. According to their origin, humans can be classified into any of 5 categories: ignorant people, laity, mortals, sages, and celestials. Ignorant people rely on instinct for survival and their previous existence was a tree or a lower-level animal. Laity rely on desire for survival and their previous existence was a higher-level animal, livestock, or a flying bird. Mortals rely on sentiment for survival and their previous existence was a laity or a mortal. Sages rely on rationality for survival and their previous existence was a celestial or a sage. Celestials rely on spirituality to survive and their previous existence was a celestial or human celestial being from the 1,000-year world. In addition, 1 out of every 10 million people in human society are celestial beings from the 10,000-year world, Buddhas from the Elysium world, or gods from heaven carrying special missions. The 6th level, flying birds. Flying birds are a kind of life living in 4-dimensional space. Their wisdom is lower than humankind but they have more freedom and their space of activities are larger than that of humankind. Flying birds are gregarious and belong to cooperative living species. Red-crowned cranes are the highest level of flying birds, enjoying a longer lifespan and a high level of spirituality. Other cranes, storks, and wild geese are at the 2nd level. Eagles and owls are at the 3rd level. Warblers, parrots, and hummingbirds dwelling in the forest, pigeons, and crows inhabiting broad areas, and mandarin ducks, egrets, and other ducks living by water are at an even lower level. Poultry and other birds with wings but who cannot fly, such as ostriches, are at the lowest level of birds. The 7th level, flowering plants. Flowering plants refer to all those flowering but infertile plants including some flowering but fruitless trees and herbs. Flowering plants possess very high spirituality, they are almost imitations of flowering plants in the 10,000-year world. In addition to decorating nature, the main function of flowering plants is to serve the sages and celestials by reminding and enlightening those people with high spirituality not to forget the existence of the deity celestial being world and to advance to the 10,000-year world. The highest level of flowering plants are peonies. The 2nd level of flowers include Chinese herbaceous peonies, Chinese flowering crabapples, lotuses, daffodils, wintersweets, sweet-scented osmanthus, plums blossom, lunar September chrysanthemums, magnolia denudata, azaleas, orchids, and epiphyllums. The middle-level flowers include roses, cloves, Clivia minata, spring orchids, Chinese hibiscuses, Albizia julibrissin, Indian calamirs herbs, jasmines, winter jasmines, laurels, tulips, chrysanthemums, cacti, Echinopsis tubiflorum, and the like. The lowest level of flowers are poplar blossoms, reed catkins, rattan flowers, day lilies, and water caltrop flowers. The 8th level, livestock. Livestock are under human control and protection and serve the needs of humankind directly. Although they are not as free as wild animals, their risk of danger to their survival is lower than the others. If wild animals were to be compared to illiterate people, then domestic ones would be like disciplined high school students or university students trained by civilization. Wild animals only know how to obtain, whereas domestic animals only know how to dedicate. The 9th level, wildlife on land and aquatic life in the sea. The 10th level, trees. The 11th level, insects. The 12th level, herbs and crops. Glossy Ganodermas are the most superior level of herbs. Asparagus ferns and bracket plants are high level of herbs. Crops and vegetables are middle level herbs. Plain grass is at the lowest level. The 13th level, microorganisms and fungi. The 14th level, demons and monsters in hell. The 15th level, life in frozen layer. The 16th level, life in inflamed layer. The levels of life have been divided into the above categories mainly according to their levels of spirituality of life. The higher their levels of life are, the higher their levels of freedom, living standards, and quality of life will be, and vice versa. That is to say, gods do not want to become celestial beings or Buddhas, celestial beings and Buddhas do not want to become humans, humans do not want to become birds, birds do not want to become flowers, flowers do not want to become domestic animals do not want to become wild or aquarium animals, and wild animals do not want to become trees or crops, and so on and so forth. For humankind, the direction of the advancement of life should aim toward higher spaces of life. Ignorant persons should advance toward laity, laity should advance toward mortals, mortals should advance toward sages, sages should advance toward human celestial beings, and human celestial beings should advance toward land celestial beings, deity celestial beings, super celestial beings, and Buddhas. The path of life is very clear. From the perspective of space, people in the human world should strive for the 1,000-year world, human celestial beings there should strive for the 10,000-year world, land celestial beings there should aim toward the free deity celestial beings, and deity celestial beings who wander worldwide all day long should strive toward becoming super celestial beings in Elysium world, which is the top level of life. It is impossible for human beings to become gods, and needless to say, there is no possibility of becoming the unique greatest creator. Everything is clear and simple when seen from this perspective.